What's up guys? So in this video I am going to explain you structure. Now imagine a scenario where you want to store data of different types like int, char, float, etc. under the same name. Now let's take the example of employee. Now suppose you want to maintain records of employees and there are 100 employees. Each employee has got a name, ID and height. Now this array named imp will allow me to store 100 values of type int. This array cannot store values of type string and values of type float. For that I have to create two separate arrays. And I don't want to create two separate arrays. I want to store data of different types under the same name. So what can I do here? So in this case I can make use of structure. So a structure allows us to store data of different data types. Different types of data can be grouped together using structure. Just as an array allows us to store data of same type, a structure allows us to store data of different data types. So now I am going to create a program on structure keeping in mind this scenario. Now before using a structure we need to define the structure, and a structure is defined before the main function, and a structure is defined by using the struct keyword, and after the struct keyword comes the name of the structure. I name this structure imp. You can name it anything. Here I need to declare members of the structure. So these three are the members of the structure, and all the three members are of different data types. This is the name of the employee, this is the ID of the employee, and this is the height of the employee. And don't forget to end it with a semicolon. So now I have defined the structure. I can store values of char, int and float under the same name. Now I need to declare and initialize structure variables, and it is done by using the struct keyword and then the name of the structure, which is imp in this case, then the name of the variable. I name this variable even. You can name it anything. Now I am going to initialize this structure variable even. Give this variable some value, and it is done inside the curly braces. Now the first member of this structure is name, so I have to enter some name here. Each field is separated by a comma. The second member of this structure is ID, and the third member of this structure is height, so I enter some height here. Let's say 6.1. Now I am declaring another structure variable, and the name of this variable is E2. Now there are two employees, employee E1 and employee E2. Now let's say I want to print the details of both these employees, details like name, ID and height. So this is what I need to do. First I'll print the details of employee E1, name, ID and height. Now to print these details like name, ID or height, simply use the structure variable. Now the structure variable here is E1, so E1 dot name of the member the name of the member here is name, so e1.name should print John. e1.id should print 111, and e1.height should print 6.1. Now I can do the same if I want to print the details of employee E2. e2.name, e2.id, and e2.height. So details of employee E1, name John, ID 111, height 6.1. Details of employee E2, name Ashley, ID 222, and height 5.9. Now I am declaring another structure variable whose name is E3. Now I want the user to enter the values or details for employee E3. So for this I can use a scanf statement. %s for name, %d for ID, and %f for height. e3.name will allow the user to enter the name for employee E3. This will allow the user to enter the ID for employee E3, and e3.height will allow the user to enter the height for employee E3. This printf statement will just display a message to the user that enter the name, ID, and height for employee E3. Now I want to print the details or values for employee E3 which the user enters using this scanf statement. So I'll follow the same procedure that I did while printing the details for employees E1 and E2. Now the name of the structure variable here is E3, so e3.name of the member, which is name, e3 then name of the member, which is ID, e3.name of the member, which is height. So I have to enter the name, ID, and height for employee E3. So for name I enter Marks, for ID I enter 789, and height 5.8. So this printf statement has printed the details of employee E3 that I just entered. Now I have declared another structure variable named E4, and I have set E4 equal to E2. So all the details of employee E2 are also the details of employee E4. Now let me print all the details of employee E4 like name, ID, and height. So the details of employee E2 are also the details of employee E4. So what this tells is that you can assign and also initialize one structure variable with another structure variable. So this is what structure is. You can store data of different types under the same name, under the same variable, under the same structure. So this is the end of this program on structure. And one last thing I want to tell you is that you can also declare and initialize structure variables here. After defining the structure, at the end you can declare structure variables, and each variable is separated by a comma. This is structure variable E1, this is E2, this is E4, and this is E3. Both these programs are the same. Both of them do the same thing. And I prefer this method over that one. The only difference is that here in this program the variables are declared here. So that's it for now. This is the end of this video and thanks for watching.